Kaguya faced Sasha, waiting to hear the story of how her mentor, Julia, died. Sasha sighed and stared off into the distance. It was January 31st, the day of the ritual that turned Victor into a vampire. Kaguya hung on every word as she recounted the entire tale. I was yelling at the top of my lungs as I jumped from building to building. I don't believe this. It's all Violet's fault, that stupid stalker! My breathing was ragged, and my mouth was oozing blood from Victor's body. His blood tasted so good. It was the best blood I'd ever tasted, and now it was mine. But was it just mine? I shook off the thought and stopped on top of a building, looking up at the cloudy sky. I can't believe I'm married to a stranger. I mean, Victor was not a complete unknown. Violet had always talked about him to Ruby and I since we were kids. We always had to listen to her swooning over thoughts of her darling. Honestly, when I was younger, I found it very irritating. But as time went on, I got used to Violet's obsession with him. I was distraught. I had accepted the request to help with the ritual, but I never thought something like this would happen. I'm married to a man I don't even know! I was furious, and then I realized something even more alarming. If I didn't drink more of my husband's blood, and soon, I'd dry up. I'd turn into a mummy, and my body would go into hibernation. Fuck! I yelled in frustration. How was I supposed to make this work? Just walk up to Victor, tell him he doesn't know me, but I'm his wife and I need his blood? I shuddered at the thought and realized I needed to get home. So I leapt off the building and flew to one of the mansions I own. Arriving at the mansion, I opened the door and the first thing I saw made me freeze in disbelief. It was Julia's headless body sprawled on the couch. The room had been ransacked. No. Julia? I trembled in shock. I couldn't form a coherent thought at the terrifying sight of the woman who practically raised me lying dead. I saw the bodies of all my servants strewn about, vampires and humans alike. A massacre had taken place while I was gone. I didn't have time to mourn because I felt someone approaching at high speed. I covered my body with a lightning shield and dodged the attack. I heard a man's voice. How good of you to join us. The man was tall and bald, wearing a black priest's robe. But looking at it further, the robe seemed to have been modified to look like a suit. I growled in anger. Seeing the decapitated body of Julia was too much. A burning fury I couldn't control spewed out of my body. You fuckers! Lightning started to cover my entire body. The man ignored me and menacingly snapped the elastic cuffs of his black gloves. He bowed his head. God bless this servant's fist so he can punish sinners. His fist began to glow with a faint golden hue. When I tried to move my legs, I felt suddenly constricted. I was stuck. Just then, a woman in a nun's habit appeared. Her robe was also tailored to resemble a tight-fitting suit. She nodded at the man. Good job, Carlos. I could see in her hands she held the end of several long ropes. I scanned the mansion to see that they were stretched to the top of the ceiling. And then I saw that they were also somehow tied to my wrists. Before I could react, she pulled the ropes taut and suspended me in midair, stretching my arms painfully wide. I hung there like I was crucified in my own home. Carlos grinned. Nice job, Maria. I'm glad I don't have to battle this vampire one-on-one. My fighting style is quite incompatible with her lightning abilities. Maria nodded. Indeed, you're lucky to have me as your partner. Carlos winked at Maria. You must be my good luck charm. I could see that these two murderers were lovers. My anger reached a boiling point. These miserable hunters had treated me like I was easy prey to hunt. They invaded my house. They killed my servants. They killed my Julia. My teeth started to sharpen, and a bloody pressure started to emulate from my body. I was determined to kill them. Carlos grumbled, as if he was bored. I knew it wouldn't be that easy. Maria laughed, unafraid. Indeed, she wouldn't be the heiress of a clan if she was weak. The ropes that were holding me started to tighten, and I felt my skin burn. I looked at the ropes and realized they had a slight golden glow. Soon the holy energy would burn through my skin. I was getting angrier by the second, and I needed revenge. I focused my gaze on Maria. I flashed a smile, almost on the verge of insanity, and decided to use a technique my mother taught me. I covered my body with golden lightning and channeled it inward, creating a sonic boom around me. I felt the ropes around my wrist snap, and I fell to the floor, landing on my feet, buzzing with electric charge. I charged my attackers with incredible speed. I was tempted to finish Carlos first, but he was shielding himself with a halo of golden energy, so I pivoted to Maria. I knew killing Carlos wouldn't satisfy me anyway. He needed to suffer. He needed to see Maria beg for her life. I reared back, extended my fangs, and sucked my teeth into Maria's neck. She shrieked in horror when she realized what I was doing. I heard her desperate cry, and it made me bite her neck even harder. Carlos ran toward us.
Maria!
But before he could get close, I lifted her body and took off running as fast as I could. I could hear his desperate cries behind me.
Cursed be the vampires!
I don't know why, but I started to laugh with tears in my eyes and Maria in my arms. Fuck you for crossing me! I escaped the mansion and kept running. After a few miles, I slowed down and threw Maria to the ground. I tore the crucifix from her neck and bit my finger. A drop of blood fell to the ground, forming a magic circle around us. I taunted Maria. I didn't prepare the proper materials for you to become a full-fledged servant of mine. But who cares? With this, you'll become what you hate the most. A vampire. And worse than a normal vampire, you'll be a defective vampire. Teardrops streamed from my eyes as I thought of my fallen servants. As I thought of Julia. The last thing Maria saw as a human was my sadistic, cruel smile as I exacted my revenge. Sasha's eyes returned from her distant stare and landed on Kaguya's stunned face. She had listened to the whole story in silence. Kaguya paused for a moment and then exploded with murderous intent at the thought of Julia's mutilated body. She looked over at Sasha's maid and had a horrible realization. Wait a minute. What is your name? The maid bowed her head. Maria? Kaguya trembled in anger. Maria's instinct screamed for her to react, but Sasha ordered her to stand by and stay close, and she could not disobey the order. Kaguya considered exploding with an attack, but calmed herself. There were bigger fish to fry. She turned back to Sasha. What do these hunters want from us? Why are they so active right now? Sasha swallowed. According to my maid, a vampire named Lucy stole something very valuable from the church. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any information on what that something is. Maria didn't know. Kaguya leered at Maria. Are you sure about that? Are you sure you can trust her? Sasha grilled Maria to demonstrate her control. Tell me, what were you planning to do with your lover, Carlos? Maria's eyes glowed red, a glazing look passing over her face. We were planning to get married and have children together. Sasha continued. When you killed my former maid, what did you feel? And why did you set that trap for me? Maria was still glassy-eyed. Nothing. I felt nothing. After all, this is just a job. Carlos killed all the servants. I ripped your maid's head off and set a trap with the ropes. Our goal was to capture the heiress of Clan Folger. Kaguya had seen enough. Okay, I get your point. She is completely under your control. Sasha cackled. Oh, Kaguya, it was just getting good. She whipped her head back to Maria. Continue. Why did you want to capture me? Maria responded without hesitation. The Inquisition received information that the leader of Clan Folger lost his position as a vampire count and became an ordinary noble vampire. The Inquisition decided it would be a good opportunity to further weaken this clan by capturing their heiress, who was located in the States. Seeing Kaguya's shocked reaction, Sasha sighed. See, my father is losing the Earl title. I don't know why. He probably did something stupid. He may have bet the title while playing some high-stakes card game. Kaguya shook her head, reeling. Sasha continued. And because of that, these idiots here thought it would be a good idea to capture me and use me as a bargaining chip to further diminish the strength of my clan. And the funny part, if these hunters had been successful, my parents wouldn't care. They would say I was weak and that I should die. The irony is that the only people who cared about me died at the hands of these monsters. Kaguya saw Sasha once again getting emotional. Lady Sasha. Sasha let out a quivering breath. I don't want your pity. Kaguya narrowed her eyes. You don't have it. Before Sasha could react, Kaguya traveled through the shadows and slashed her throat. I'm sorry, Lady Sasha. Sasha's eyes widened in shock and betrayal. How could you? Blood geysered from her neck as she staggered to the ground. Kaguya set her sights on Maria. She charged her ribs with a flurry of dagger thrusts. She moved so fast, Maria didn't even have a chance to scream. Kaguya threw one final jab into Maria's neck as the glow of life left her eyes. She came crashing down to the floor beside her master. Kaguya sighed as she wiped her face with a handkerchief. God damn, it's hard to be a good maid. She stared at the lifeless, bloody bodies by her feet. A million thoughts raced through her mind. What's my next move?